So we have Jessica here who has been really, really kind to do a video with me. And we're just going to start off with just giving a sentence or two about yourself. So for people watching.
Yeah, so my name is Jessica. I'm 26, living in Munich the past 6-ish years on and off. I work here leading a team of about 20 people, and recently, at the beginning of the year, I took over the team in France as well, meaning a lot of traveling, which I think we're going to get into in a bit anyway. But yeah, that's basically a little bit about me and what I do over here.
Perfect. So I wanted to start off with just telling us a little bit kind of what you're doing previously, where you are before you even started coaching.
Yeah. I'd always been sporty. Like I always did like GA or basketball or something like that in school. Always team sports. I started going to the gym. I joined the gym here. Must have been 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago now. And I started off like, I think most people are, they're really nervous. Like I didn't even know where the free weights room was. So I was like on the cardio machines, and then I'd start like moving over to the actual like weight machines themselves. And that's when I realized like, oh, I actually really like working with weights. For a really long time though, didn't trust myself to go anywhere near like a barbell or a dumbbell or anything like that. And then I started like looking up like what I could do and sort of make my own workouts. I tended though just to put myself into a vicious circle where I take tips from here, there and everywhere. And instead of having a plan that suited me, let's say, I was doing like half of this person's plan, half of this person's plan, adding this to it. And I think I was just overloading myself with like information about calories that I needed, macros that I needed, how often I needed to train, how I needed to train, and all this kind of thing. And I ended up just constantly like burning myself out. I was always like doing a calorie deficit. I would never go into a surplus. And then I'd end up like having a night out, say like on Friday or Saturday night, and eating loads on Sunday, feeling really, really bad. And then on Monday, like going back to the start again. And yeah, the training wasn't great. I never really I didn't track my training actually, to be honest. And that was the problem. And one day, like I'd be doing squats, and then the next day or the next week, I decide I'll do something else. So there was no structure to my training whatsoever. And like I said, like I was either doing one hell for leather, like 7 days a week, cardio, weights, classes, like anything I could do, and I would get in shape and I'd be really happy, and I'd always have a goal set, like a holiday, let's say, and it was always like the week or 2 weeks before the holidays where like I'd just be like, you've done so well, you should take a break, have pizza, have that bottle of wine. And then like I always went back to square one, and that was the problem. I was always going back to square one. I was able to do it, but I had no structure, and I didn't really have the guidance to say this is the plan for you, and not like a bit of this, a bit of that, and a bit in the other.
Mm-hmm. And just say even like that constant, I suppose, back and forth, and then no structure overall. What kind of impact was that having on you?
It was demotivating, because even when I was starting back fresh, like it was Monday morning, and the diet starting again and the training starting again, I already knew that I was going to end up back to square one again. And I was seeing results all right in that I was losing fat. I definitely had lost fat, but I wasn't getting stronger. And that was starting to annoy me a little bit. And I was kind of thinking like, I'm doing the same things, you know, this person said on Instagram, or this person said on Facebook, or, you know, like someone in work told you. I'm doing all these things, but nothing. I'm not seeing the results I want. Like I'm not getting any stronger, and it was kind of just annoying me. And going to the gym was just like, it seemed a bit pointless sometimes, because I was like, oh yeah, I'll just pick up the 6 kilo dumbbell and do whatever, and I'll do that for the next couple of months. I was getting bored. Yeah.
And then say when you came on board with me, tell us a bit just how that's changed.
So the reason why I decided to send you the email and go on the call alcohol the first time was back in March, I think 4 months ago. Basically, I just started all the traveling for work. And I realized that, like, okay, my training and nutrition structure isn't the best as it is. And now, additionally, I'm going to be away for a week or two every single month, where I'm going to be living out of a hotel room. Well, I didn't actually look for a gym until I started working with you, because I was like, no, I can't go to the gym in France. They don't have gyms there. I don't know. And then, like, I'd be going out for dinner in the evening and just ordering what I fancied, which is totally fine. It's something I still do. Planning. I wasn't planning anything. I was just like going with the flow. And I think it was after my first 2-week block there, I came back home and I was looking at myself and I was like, you are just going to keep going downhill for the rest of the year. And this isn't you. And I didn't want to look like that. I didn't want to, it was the feeling. I didn't feel well. I had no energy. I just felt groggy all the time and kind of just like, yeah. And yeah, so that's when I decided then to give you the call. And I think it was actually straight away putting the structure and having a plan that like suited my lifestyle. Like it never meant fast all day because you're going out for dinner this evening, but rather just plan your day. Like the planning was something that had always been missing. It was something that I never thought was so important, and it actually makes all the difference. Just planning, just being organized.
Definitely. And then just like, say, even like looking back at the time frame, so you've been with me for about 4 months now, and even just like, go through a little bit of your, like, I'm going to put your photos down below, but like even looking at what you have achieved and even just mentioning what you have achieved, Bettina, how does that feel?
Unreal. My confidence is literally like through the roof. It's unbelievable. Like I said, like back when I used to train and I'd lose a bit of fat, like I'd always be like, oh yeah, I've lost some weight, and if people said to me, I'd be like, yeah, and I'd be happy with it. But now, because I know that I've achieved it and I've sustained it, and that I enjoy it still, I'm not like, there hasn't been a stage yet where I've completely like fallen off the wagon and been like, okay, I'm just going to eat crap all week and not do any planning and not do any training. It's because I enjoy it, and having that structure there is exactly what I needed.
And then say it was just in terms of like the goals and stuff you achieved, because you mentioned like, and there's a couple of things that you've said to me when you actually started feeling much more confident in like your clothes. Like, how does it feel then to finally have that now and then being able to sustain it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, like we did the fat loss phase for 3 months. And I think when someone hears like fat loss and diet, you're like, oh Jesus, I'm going to be starving. And I said it to you like so many times. I'm like, there never been like one stage at all where I felt like I am on a diet. Because, as long as I'm getting my protein in, where we've had our struggles now and again, as long as I'm getting that in, then I can pretty much, like, I am in charge of what I eat, and if that's going to be a salad one day because I fancy a salad, then it's going to be a salad. But if it's like pizza or something another day, then that's what it's going to be. And that's the really nice thing. And then training and seeing all these results, like knowing that I'm losing fat, but like I was getting all these like the newbie gains and seeing all that, and then seeing my abs for the first time. I think that was the biggest shock ever that morning when I was taking the check-in pictures. I was like, oh, and that was a huge achievement for me, and it kind of, it makes you proud of yourself then when you see actual results. I mean, I was training for a half marathon, which I did on Sunday.
It's just been completed.
Which we've never talked about it, but just telling. No, I was training for a half marathon, so I was obviously doing loads of cardio as well, but that all never had an effect on my training because it was 3 total body workouts, which is what suited my life style at the time or whatever suited my time or my schedule, and it worked out perfectly. And yeah, I think seeing those results and seeing it improve was the biggest thing for me, because I would have always had a result and then left it, but having a result and then saying, okay, I've got this now I need to continue to improve or change it up or something, because if you don't change it up, then you're going to get bored anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then just like for context as well, like we've done our like fat loss phase now, and then we're going to go into a lean gain phase. So we might come back around to this in another video after you've done that and see how you feel. But say for someone who's kind of in your similar position, like you've definitely a harder, like in terms of lifestyle and routine with traveling with work and so on and so forth, and then just the constant like picking pieces here and there and not actually ever having a full on like structure and always going back and forth, that like vicious cycle. What advice would you give to someone who's pretty much dealing with something similar around that? What advice would you give them if they're watching this video?
I would say stop making excuses, or stop sort of doing the self-talk thing of saying like, it'll be fine, like I'll train when I'm back home, or it was just one bad day. Because if it's a continuous cycle, then there's a problem. And at that stage, I would say like send that email to you, go on that call and take the plunge, kind of, because if it's happening all the time, then you need some sort of accountability. Because I think it's very easy to say like, oh, I travel a lot and that's why I can't train, or oh, you know, I am in hotels all the time and that's why I have to eat crap, or eat like thousands and thousands and thousands of calories every day, or and that's it's an excuse at the end of the day. And I know, and I'm saying it's an excuse because I said it to myself so many times. Like, I'm like, you know, it's grand, you know, nobody else expects it to be any different. But then I was annoyed at myself, and it doesn't matter what anyone else is kind of saying, like, geez, sure, look, you're having a tough year and you're traveling and all the rest. Who cares? Like, if other people are making excuses for you, let them. But if you're not happy and you're not able to get out of it, then it doesn't make sense to continue with what you're doing.
Super. Really, really good finish. So thank you so much for doing it, and you can wave bye.